to you later. Thank you very much for now. Ladies and gentlemen, we will allow them to continue their ride, but of course we can see the pictures. Sven Ennerst is here now on stage. Sven, you have worked for this moment for a very long time, so how do you feel now? Well, of course, a dream has come true or is coming true. The prototype of the Freightliner, it was great to see that in the US, but the new generation of the highway pilot, to see that here in our standard Actros on a German highway, where it was developed, close to where it was developed, that's perfect. Of course, it has always been our goal to see our technical solutions, also on German highways. And is it working the way you've imagined it? Well, you can definitely tell that it's not suffering from stage fright during the world premiere. I'm proud to see how perfectly it's moving in traffic, how smoothly everything is going, how reliable the truck already is during its first real ride on a German highway. What does the truck mean for us as a manufacturer? Well, we are the safety pioneer and a trailblazer, a forerunner of active assistance systems. And Wolfgang Bernhard just said it. Also, when it comes to automated and semi-automated driving, we are shaping the future of long-distance haulage. With the highway pilot and the active assistance systems in our standard trucks, we feel that we are the pacemakers of the entire industry. We have built the first autonomously driving truck, and right now an Actros with a highway pilot is on a German highway in a semi-automated mode. And of course, this is the next step towards standard production. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe you're asking yourself now, what's the difference between the Future Truck 2025 from Hanover last year and this vehicle? So maybe we should ask the expert. Well, the Future Truck 2025 epitomizes a vision, of course. As the first autonomous truck of the world, it combined a variety of innovations which partly show the way to the future. For example, the driver's seat that can be turned away from the steering wheel in a 45-degree angle. But at the same time, we equipped the Future Truck with a highway pilot, and that's a system which was now also installed in our standard Actros. The Actros, equipped with a highway pilot, which is on the highway right now, has been approved according to Automation Level 2. That means for semi-automated driving. And this means that the highway pilot can assist the driver in certain situations regarding both the longitudinal and the lateral guidance of the truck. Wolfgang Bernhard just said it. The driver, however, needs to remain in full control and monitor the traffic situation at any point in time, and be able at any point in time to take over again from the truck. Other activities like using a tablet PC cannot be approved yet. That's very important, I think. Other activities are not approved yet, that's not possible yet, but if the legal situation changes, then of course that's the clear goal to achieve that, right? Well, the highway pilot in automation level 3 will also be able to implement highly automated driving. That means that the system detects automatically when the driver has to take over again. And at this automation level, the driver won't have to monitor the system continuously anymore and could also do other things in the truck. And that's a scenario that we already showed last year with the Future Truck 2025. Another question that many people might be interested in today, in a real traffic situation, what makes this vehicle so safe? The truck has the complete overview with radar sensors. It is scanning the long range and close range in the front, and the front radar sensor has a range of approximately 250 meters. The close range sensor scans 70 meters in addition, with a considerably larger angle of vision in the front. And the area in front of the vehicle is also covered by a stereo camera with a range of approximately 100 meters. And thanks to this multi-sensor system, the highway pilot detects at any kind of traffic condition around the truck. Track width, traffic signs, free spaces, speed, sudden changes or obstacles. The truck can see everything. And those data are connected in real time with the details from 3D maps that are integrated in the system. So it always knows what's happening around it, and it is capable of processing these data simultaneously. And with these active assistance systems, it can respond correctly and immediately, keeping the lane, braking ideally, slowing down ideally, and detecting obstacles. You've mentioned all of these things, keeping the lane, slowing down, accelerating. These are also the qualities or skills of a well-trained truck driver, right? Yes, of course. But we as a driver will always have a moment of where we are not completely attentive. The truck is never tired. It will be attentive for 24/7. So, from a technological point of view, the truck can do more. It can collect and record more data, process those data. It can monitor the traffic situation in a better way, and it can react or respond without emotions. And we know that 90% of all accidents happen due to this brief moment where we are not attentive. And we all know it from our own experience when driving on roads. Less than 1.5 years ago have passed since we had the world premiere of the future truck in Magdeburg, and Mr. Bernhard said that they're assuming to be ready earlier than expected. So where does this great speed come from? Well, what's driven us at Daimler? That's the vision of accident-free driving. We want to make traffic safer for all of those who are participating in traffic, and for that reason we have worked on safety systems for years that prevent accidents from the outset. From the proximity control assistant to our highly developed adaptive ESP to the active brake assist 3 or the emergency brake. They can all be combined perfectly with the highway pilot in our actors. We are always talking about 3 catchwords: safety, efficiency and connectivity. We've talked a lot about safety now, but Minister President Kretschmann also mentioned efficiency, and of course that's also important. What are the efficiency benefits with such a system? Our highway pilot drives more efficiently than a person could ever do it in the long run. Over the last years, we've already reduced consumption, like with the actors, by 13% since 2011, and we expect an additional reduction of 5% once the highway pilot system is fully used. Because the truck is driven very steadily, there's never any unnecessary braking or unnecessary acceleration. So the efficiency progress we have already put in place and achieved, the engines of the latest generation of predictive powertrain control, to only give 2 examples, will be controlled even more precisely and will increase the consumption reductions again. Are there any other benefits besides fuel savings? Well, of course, also wear and tear will be reduced, and the assemblies of the trucks are protected by this steady driving. We've talked about wear and tear, we've talked about the control. Are there any other points with regards to efficiency that you should add? Thanks to the permanent connectivity and all information that the highway pilot collects, it also helps to drive around traffic jams and avoid critical routes. And when more and more trucks and cars are semi-automated or fully automated, traffic jams can be avoided from the outset. Road users will drive more steadily and there will be significantly less mistakes and errors. And then and the driver will be able to do other things as well.
Third catchword, connectivity. There are a couple of misunderstandings in there, so it might pay off to take a closer look at that. Maybe we should take a look at the details. Of course, this is the catchword that's at the top of the list of everyone, intelligent connectivity of traffic. Let's talk with a couple of catchphrases like vehicle-to-vehicle communication, V2V communication. Yes, you hear it again and again. V2V, it's vehicle-to-vehicle communication, communication between vehicles, as it were. And this would be speed data that other intelligent vehicles in a range of 500 kilometers can transmit. So as soon as these vehicles brake, we know already that an obstacle is coming toward us. So the end of a traffic jam, if we come around the corner, is no longer a surprise. Or an emergency vehicle, an ambulance sends a vehicle-to-vehicle signal, and right away the vehicles ahead of that vehicle know that they need to make space. And the more vehicles are able to do that, the better vehicle-to-vehicle communication will help us prevent critical situations in traffic. And the way such a situation looks like in real trucker life, we can take a look at that. Now I'll hand over again to my colleagues in the truck. Hello, gentlemen. Looks like you're doing well out there. How are we feeling? We are feeling great, and we're feeling safe. You get used to it so quickly that the person that should be driving has their arms crossed. You can really be relaxed. And now we have a traffic situation ahead of us. We have a job site that we're driving toward. You heard the beeping signal. The system told me that I have to take over again, and I'm taking over control of the vehicle again. So we're coming into the area where there's this job site. We have this job site programmed into our navigation system. We could also imagine that this job site is not programmed into the system, but that this obstacle is transferred, or the information on this obstacle is transferred via internet into the device. And this is one of the goals, Minister President, on the test area for Baden-Württemberg, that we have such information on accidents, traffic jams, job sites that are moved along the highway, that all this data is provided to the truck and the driver can be warned ahead of time. Looking at the future, of course, we will have situations where we get to job sites where we have bottlenecks. That's scary, right, when it gets so narrow. Well, once we improve things, we will be able to have the truck master the situation bottlenecks better than any driver could. And then the truck will actually take over control. You can tell me that the highway, the truck tells me that the highway pilot is available again. I can switch over to the highway pilot again, and the truck will start steering, and I can lean back until we reach the next station. Handing over to the stage again. Thank you very much. I think that was a very good and real example, because this job site actually exists. We didn't set it up especially for this test. It is a job site on the A8, and this is also what connectivity means. Sven, vehicles will become part of the Internet of Things. Yes, we hear that every day, every hour. Lots and lots of objects go online, can send signals, and of course also receive signals. And we just heard that in the vision. In the future, a job site will be able to send out, watch out, I'm a job site. And in the future, we'll be able to see that there is a difficult situation ahead of us, and we can react early on. Warning signals will also be available online, vehicle-to-infrastructure communication V2I, and that will provide the highway pilot with more and more data in order to be able to evaluate the traffic situation. The truck will hear about bottlenecks as soon as the barriers are set up, and then you can ask the driver to take over, or maybe we can find an alternative route. Let's take a closer look at this, because the question comes up again and again. Is this a problem for the highway pilot that this infrastructure, this connectivity of traffic doesn't exist yet? Not a problem at all. Intelligent connectivity of the great assistance system, that really makes the truck completely safe. The truck doesn't need V2I, V2V communication. The highway pilot can use the onboard sensors to record traffic data and can react independently. So the connectivity, the networking that will happen in a couple of years, that will improve the entire overall system. Yes, the highway pilot can do driving on its own, but if the vehicles around it become more intelligent, if infrastructure becomes more intelligent, and if traffic becomes an intelligent system that is in exchange all the time, then we will have reached the mobility of the future, and that's networked mobility, connected mobility. The highway pilot already has the technology that's needed for that. So digitalization, connectivity has reached the truck industry, and we've seen all the elements that are integrated in that. And those are typical questions when we move away from technology. In the ultimate vision, will there be a driver? Will a driver even be required in the future? Of course. Wolfgang Bernhard already underlined that the driver is always in control. The driver can always oversteer the highway pilot or turn it off. And in many situations, the system will even ask the driver to take over. Maybe when the truck leaves the highway, for example. And we just saw how after the job site, the highway pilot passed control over to the driver again. I think we saw that pretty well in the pictures. The interplay between human and machine is changing. Yes, definitely. The truck is becoming more and more a partner, and the driver is becoming a transport manager. And while the highway pilot is actually steering and controlling the vehicle, the driver will have less stress, less of a workload. So the highway pilot turns the driving time into real time that's available, and the driver will not only be driving, will in the future be able to take over other activities and other tasks. Very often we're asked for examples. Can you be a little more concrete in your explanations? If the legal requirements are at the point where we need them, then the truck driver will be able to do a lot of things during the drive, during the ride, that they were able to do only during the breaks. Getting new orders, maybe do some managing of freight scheduling, things like that. And the highway pilot really creates comfort for the driver. It can, for example, find free parking spaces. This is a difficult problem currently, and it can also book those parking spaces. So the driver can even order his dinner online, for example. That was quite interesting to hear from the Minister President that we believe and that we are convinced that the workplace of the driver as a whole will become more attractive because of this technology. Absolutely. Then there are a couple of other typical questions, ladies and gentlemen. Since the two gentlemen are still driving toward us, I would like to ask those questions as well. By when could this technology be in volume production, in standard production? If we have the possibility to continue testing the vehicle extensively, developing it further, then 3 to 4 years might be enough, might be sufficient. And this is why we're so happy that Baden-Württemberg actually authorized us to do these tests. And of course, the state really proves its pioneering spirit. And we're really happy that the Technical Inspection Authority confirmed that our system really works. This is a really important public moment for the entire team, for the project, but the question that we want to ask is how will we continue? We will do testing here and all over Germany. We will work on the nitty-gritty details, and step by step we will move towards standard production. Our Actros trucks are manufactured in Wörth. That's where standard production is taking place. So that means that in a couple of years, the colleagues over there will be really integrating the system into standard trucks. We believe that the first semi-autonomous functions will be available in 3 years for standard production. Then we will have several levels in the process. The degree of automation will be increased step by step as soon as the regulatory framework allows that. We saw that in Future Truck, the Freightliner Inspiration Truck, that by 2025 we will be able to reach level 3 of automated driving. I'm hearing that the truck managed the turnaround maneuver, and now the last stretch of this exciting maiden voyage has started. Let's go over to the actress again.